So very hearty good morning, and let me start by saying a very, very big namaste to all of you. Namaste means I salute. So what we're going to do, friends, is talk about how you, the amazing people sitting in here, young people, young leaders, can change the world. How many of you believe you can do it? How many? Yeah? So we're going to look at how you can actually do it. Why am I saying you're amazing? Why do you think I'm saying that? And I mean it from my heart. I think each one of you is an absolutely unique masterpiece of the Creator, and nobody is like you. Like your fingerprint is unique. So you're part of this, we are all part of this amazing thing called life. The cells, the flowers, the plants, the animals, each one of us is part of that. And we are run by the common creative intelligence that runs all of life. The trees, the blossoms, the marine life, all the life that Stalin showed us just now is also what is making us alive and live and experience life. So can I request you to turn to your partner and bow down to them to salute this magnificent life force that is, no, actually do it, turn around and genuinely look in their eyes and say, thank you, life. You are amazing. You are amazing. And that is how it is. It's actually like that. We are all part of this beautiful thing called life. Okay, going forward, for me, I believe life is love in full expression. Whether it is your mother's looking after you, or it is your heart beating, or whether it is the sun rising every day, or the rivers, or everything, it is actually love in full expression. So this is a nice way to remember life, that life is love in full expression. Each one of us also is part of life. It's not that life is out there and we are separate. We are all part of life. Young leaders like you can co-create a new world, can create a world that we can all be proud of handing to our children, our grandchildren, and so on. And why am I so upbeat about this? Because today, out of a global population of 8 billion people, 1.8 billion are young people like you. 1.8 billion people are young people like you, full of energy, enthusiasm, new ideas, new possibilities, and together, working together, we can co-create a world that works for all. Let's see how that is possible. Let's actually see how it's possible. We're going to look at a few leaders one by one, and we'll come back to them. Let's start with Swati Bedekar. Swati Bedekar is a young Indian lady who started a movement called Design Education for Yourself. She said that education doesn't have to be forced on us. We ourselves can create education. So she did that, DEFY, young lady who's made it happen, especially for rural India. This man, Ripu Daman Bevely, is called the Plog Man of India. Has anyone heard of the Plog Man of India? He was running in the morning, he would run jogging, and then he would pick up a Swedish word called plogging, and he started a movement that has now caught on, and the Prime Minister of India also said, yes, this is something beautiful. He's called the Plog Man of India. So he's initiated this movement of plogging all over India. Malala Yousafzai, many of you probably know her, 15-year-old, and she was shot by the Taliban, and she was injured, and they said, girls are not supposed to study. Girls are not supposed to study, but she stood up with courage, fought back, and went on to win the Nobel Peace Prize. Along with another person in the same year, Kailash Satyarthi, who also started very young. He also started very young for freedom for child from labor. Going forward, Greta Thunberg, you heard of, she started a movement called Fridays for the Future. She said, why is it that young people have to suffer the decisions of the seniors? We want to fight back. So she, along with a lot of young people, fought back and, our house is on fire, things are not working well, let's make a difference. Now, Greta Thunberg's initiative and choice made a whole movement happen in which thousands of young people joined her. What I want to emphasize is a young person making a difference, standing up and choosing to act on something they deeply care about begins to create a snowball effect. This is very, very important. You don't have to be aged or old. A young person like her can initiate something. You can also initiate something, and that's what leadership is. Initiating action on things that I deeply care about. 37 years back, a person called Kiran Gandhi and we just started off something. We say, hey, can education be more humane? And today, 5,000 schools and so many people are part of that movement. It's about listening to your inner voice and taking initiative on that. Most of the beautiful movements that we've seen in the past few years, whether it is March for My Life on gun control, whether it is Me Too, or anything else, has been initiated and started by young people. Black Lives Matter, again, young people, right? So young people can make a difference. And I think the choice is ours. The choice is, do we just watch the earth and everything going downhill and we say, oh, we can't do anything? Or can we say, I will listen to my inner voice, take that step, work with other people and make a difference? I think that is the choice. Choice is ours. A person had a little butterfly in his hand, a live butterfly, and he asked somebody, dead or alive? And the other person said, choice is yours. The trick was, if he says alive, he'll kill it and say dead. And if the person says dead, he'll let him go. So he said, is it dead or alive? The other person said, choice is yours. Exactly the way, same way, friends, the choice is ours. Can we work together to make a difference? But this requires two things. This requires a change in myself. I'm going to start with myself and I'll tell you a few things, and then we have to work together. So let's look at what changes do we need to make in ourselves. The same old thinking will get you the same old results. I keep sowing the seeds of the same paradigm, the same thinking, the same ideas. I'm going to get the same thing. So the starting point for change is in my thinking. And very, very important is compassion, to understand compassion. How many of us would be here if our mothers had not taken care of us? Like this little baby has been taken care of. How many of us would be here if our ancestor has not been caring and compassionate? No, we wouldn't have, right? So compassion is the very heart of life, right? And can I understand that? Can I work from that? Let me tell you a little story. 90 years back, a person was traveling from Srinagar to Gilgit and Kashmir carrying a little baby. The mother was carrying a baby, and after she fed the baby, she handed the baby over to the horseman, and the baby, wrapped up in blankets, fell into the raging Indus River and was floating down. 5 horsemen jumped into the river at the risk of their life and rescued the little baby and gave it back to the mother. That baby was my father. And if these people, the horsemen, hadn't jumped into the river and saved the baby, I wouldn't be here with you. Are you getting the point? Compassion, caring, extremely long-term impacts. Life is like this, friends. Joy, energy, enthusiasm, and peace is how life is meant to be. Yeah? But if it's not like that, then something is overshadowing it. Right? What is overshadowing it? Handing the life of my own life in the hands of media, in the hands of other people, in the hands of society, and so on, and not listening to the inner voice and not saying that I am in charge of my life. Are you getting the difference? Because if I am letting other people run my life, where's leadership? There's no leadership. There's no leadership in this. Sabse bada rog kya kahenge log? What will others think? No, hang on. What is life thinking of you? What is life saying to you? That is the question to ask. And which one do you think is more free? The earlier one or this one? This is more free. And freedom is what education is about, a truly joyous life is about. Okay? So going further, 3 things I want you to understand: appreciation and gratitude. Very, very powerful shifters of the thinking. Appreciation, celebrate what is right with life. Don't be like a fly which is always looking at muck to land on, but can I be like a bee looking for flowers? Appreciation. Gratitude. When I understand the common thread of life running through everything, I can only but be grateful. Very, very big shifters of attitude and so on. And what comes in the way? The ego. False sense of who I am, which is all the time condemning, criticizing, complaining, pointing fingers, judging people. Drop this. And a simple way to drop this, is to drop the mind, the past and the future. How do I drop the mind? Be in the now. Learn to be more and more in the now. And a simple way to do that is watching the breathing. So take time to pause, take time to be still, watch your breathing, because you can't breathe in the past or the future. Where can you breathe? Now. It's a beautiful way to come into the now. Watch your breathing and then ask yourself, who is watching my breathing? What's behind the breathing? And you come to this beautiful space of silence and peace and joy and energy. Yeah? And this is, to me, what God is all about. These are all windows to that sky. These are all windows. Each religion is like a window, but the heart of religion is really the silence and peace within. Is it okay? And how do you access that? Pause. Yeah, pause. Take time to be still. Take time to be quiet. And when you do that, you are in touch with that power of life. Yeah? 3 other things. Life purpose. Find out what God is calling you to do. What is life calling you to do? And serve from there. Each one of us has gifts. How can I bring those gifts forward in service? And when I serve and I start giving, I start receiving. The more you give, the more you receive. The more you give, the more you receive. It's beautiful. Yeah, and the other thing is, what would happen if you could talk to children anywhere in the world? If you could talk to children in Indonesia, in Africa, or in Sweden and say, what are you guys doing? What are we doing? You can do that. Today, thanks to Zoom, that's children talking from Pune to Karachi, from Hosur, India to Indonesia, and learning about the Shiva temples there. Yeah, Japan, Africa, you can talk to them, and that's what is possible, and it brings a sense of community and coming together. Because this is the way to work forward, in circles. Circles, 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 not hierarchies top down, but in circles of life. Sitting together, what are your views, and so on. And as teachers, can we create spaces where children are given a voice and given a chance to take ownership and responsibility? Yeah? So action begins with a clear vision and joyful action. That's where creation happens. Having a vision inspired by the heart, inspired by God, and then taking action, joyful action now, and you initiate the avalanche of leadership. You know, a person asked God, he said, you're doing nothing, you're doing absolutely nothing. Look at all the wars, look at the disease, look at the environmental, you've done nothing. And God said, I have my child, I have done something. He said, what have you done? He said, I made you. And I've given my own heart to your heart, my gifts to you, and that is what is really the heart of good leadership. And I would just end by saying that one person who is dedicated and surrendered to life and one with the joy of life begins to influence thousands and hundreds by their ripple effect and so on. And that's what I would like to wish for you. Enthusiasm, be in life, be in God, know that God is in you, take joyful action now, be grateful, appreciative, and may you always remember the force of life is with you. We are only 1% of people who are making a mess, 99% is all of us. So I'd like to end by requesting you to join me in saying, I am unconditionally okay. Can you say that? I am unconditionally okay. I am one with life, and I will make a difference. Thank you.